Recent economic crises have shown us what enormous problems this generation is facing. Wealth can no longer be taken for granted, and financial institutions are just as vulnerable as everyone else. At the same time, the world faces a plethora of urgent and critical energy challenges, with a need for immediate investment to build an infrastructure to deliver a low-carbon economy. In order to ensure this low-carbon economy is secure and affordable, innovation needs to be brought into the energy sector. The skilled work needed could even go some way to mitigating unemployment. But politics and society also have a responsibility to pave the path for the economy's energy revolution.
Well, energy innovation is absolutely essential. We need to cut emissions by 80% by 2050 to have a sustainable planet with temperatures keeping below 2 degrees. If we factor in economic and population growth, that means everything we do, everything we make, all the energy we produce and consume will have to be done with 1/10 of current emissions.
If we reduce our energy bill, it is good for our economy, it's good for the households, and if we, for instance, retrofit buildings or make our energy systems much more efficient, that can create jobs now when we need them in a construction sector with very high unemployment.
We know that energy demand is rising around the world in a time when much of our old supply system is having to be decommissioned because it's old, it no longer meets pollution controls and so on. So we need to find a way of investing in the future, and that's costing us a lot of time of economic downturn, which is really tough on everybody.
Well, we are facing a global challenge in terms of fighting climate change. This is a challenge that has to be basically aided by private funds, public funds, and certainly the international financial institutions such as the European Investment Bank.
Now, a couple of things you can do. Firstly, you can invest in energy efficiency, but then you need to invest in new supply-side technologies, and they tend to be capital-intensive up front. The challenge is to bring the cost down, and that's where innovation comes in, because it's through innovation that will bring down the cost of the new low-carbon technologies that we need.
Well, sparing innovation will involve both the investment in these new green technologies, and that's where we are in, but also will involve public policy, which will subsidize research and development.
Now, a lot of that innovation is already happening. We're seeing companies bringing new technologies to market. We're seeing that investment for the last 2 years in the clean energy sector has outstripped that in the traditional fossil fuel sector, and part of that is driven by innovation. That said, we haven't got enough yet. And a lot of the issue is that while there is a lot of investment in the supply side, generation of new technologies, not enough is perhaps being done on the demand side.
I think it's extremely important what each of us does. What do we demand? What kind of goods do we demand? Are we looking for those with the green label or not?
Last year, we contributed with 18 billion euros of financing for projects that fight climate change.
So some of the work the Climate Group's been doing has been trying to address particularly that problem. So for example, our LED pilot trials around the world have shown communities that LEDs do bring down energy costs and do reduce emissions. And as a result, we're seeing massive scale up. So that's innovation not only in the product, but innovation in the business models and the community, the context in which you deploy them.
Here in the UK, offshore wind is a terrific opportunity to see a scalable, low-carbon technology come down in cost and become an export opportunity. More broadly, carbon capture and storage. We definitely need CCS. We need innovation in CCS to bring the cost and prove that it's scalable.
The shale gas revolution has been developed by a whole bunch of entrepreneurs, where they connected some existing technologies in quite an innovative way to make the shale gas revolution. And let's be clear, right now the US is running with gas at $2 per million BTU. This is something under $20 a barrel equivalent compared with crude oil at $120 a barrel.
Innovations around smart motors, about controls in transport, for lighting, for energy management, the whole smart, small and large grid. But those who stick their neck out, who are prepared to lead, will be those who win.
So I think the responsibility of each of us is something that we should not sort of overlook. It's extremely important.
Our ongoing transformation to a low-carbon economy will need to overcome significant obstacles to reach ambitious goals. What will be the key energy innovations that secure our low-carbon future? Join the debate on commentvisions.com, on LinkedIn and via Twitter.